Now I know what you're thinking about the matchup, but please, I'll make this worth your while, I promise. How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. In today's video, we are actually going to continue my Smacky Cup run, which is the fog tournament on Advanced Wars by Web. Round 1 was a Sami Mirror Frozen Fire, and I beat my opponent, and I moved on to round 2. Now, I understand the matchup does look really silly, but I promise there's an explanation to it. But yeah, let's just go quickly to the replay viewer and where we are here. So I can finally talk about the map. We played a tier 1 matchup on the map Logarithmic. Logarithmic is a 3-base double airport 4 comm tower open map. The HQs are a little bit exposed, so you gotta be careful. If you're not careful enough, then a potential HQ cap could happen. Very open, like I said, a good amount of roads, plains, a few forests in certain spots. Comm towers are in the corner and a little bit in the middle-ish. Each side has 3 pipelines, and each have a pipe seam. So if you can reinforce towards the middle just a little bit faster if you are going to expend units for it, but keep in mind your opponent can see that you attack the pipe seam and can see the damage done to it. So like you could see an infantry attacking a pipe seam dealing 1 damage, and you'd be like, okay, there's an infantry there. But in that specific scenario, you'll be like, why is there an infantry there? Because there's no good spots for an infantry to for an infantry to like chip away at a pipe seam. Like, why would an infantry go here and then here when it can just go straight and then it can just go here? Speaking of this side is a little bit interesting because there is a force completely stopping you from putting yourself on the city. Like if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with a tank you cannot be on the city. So if you have a unit on here and something attacks it, your tank cannot protect the unit on the city, unfortunately. Airports in the back, I think either is fine if you're going to send it to the middle, but if you're sending a air unit to the top, if you're blue, if you're sending a unit to the top, then you can build an air unit from this port. You're sending it to the right towards your HQ, then you can build an air unit from this port. Sorry guys, I'm just a little bit tired. Yeah, very open, nothing really resembling a choke point except right outside the production corner. Like maybe you got a little bit of this, but at what point would you end up like being here? Like if you're green and you made it to here, how have you not captured the HQ at this point? Yeah, it's very open, certain spots with a forest, certain spots with roads, so some recons will have some viability. Yeah, I don't think there's much for me to say. Yeah, like I did say, HQs are a bit exposed. So I will explain the elephant in the room briefly, but I do want to first talk about my CO. I was player 2, but I do want to talk about my CO. Tier 1 already had a lot of good options. Like Javier was banned obviously because 2 comm towers with Javier. Javier is really good. One comm tower with Javier, he's alright. 0 comm towers with Javier, he's really bad. So 0 bad, 1 good, 2 is broken. If the map was split evenly, then Javier is supposed to have 2 comm towers, and he's just really hard to beat at that point. Sturm, I can see have a lot of viability. I've seen double recon openings happen on this map, and they can just ignore the plains and ignore the forests. And if you're Sturm, you build a tank here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you ignore this, 6, you can protect the unit that is on the city. If you move the unit off that city first, or you can just like attack from the plain. So Sturm has that one little niche thing that he can take advantage of. Double recon openings, you can harass this corner, you can harass this corner, and if you only have 1 tank invested on one side, like say you have a tank going down here, then this other recon is most likely going to harass your infantry scot-free. Von Boltz is a another good CO. Something I forgot to mention. When I saw when I saw double com tower open map, I thought it would be a very brawly map. And Von Bolt likes taking brawls because of that nice little defense bonus that Von Bolt like passively has, and he'd get 30% offense with 2 com towers, which is really strong. Hawk, maybe I can see Hawk working because it is a fairly big map. I think it's like a more medium map. Black Storm is really nice if there's like a bunch of units. There's double airports too, so there's potentially high unit count because of that. But for the CO that I picked, I was Sasha. Sasha just gains 100 income per income generating property. That would be your HQ, your city, your base, your airport, and your ports. But there are no ports here. No labs. No labs can give you income, but there are no labs to show here. Com towers do not give you 100%. Do not give you 100 income as well. So that's another thing. It's just your cities and your bases and your airports. And it can add up over time if you're like capturing more properties. I will explain why I picked Sasha, but I will say right now it was for a specific opening. As for the power, for 2 bars, it is Market Crash. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but it is on your screen. Market Crash it removes your opponent's power meter. And this is actually really nice for opponents that have like super strong superpowers that are expensive, such as Olaf's Winter Fury, Eagle's Lightning Strike, Drake's Typhoon. In regards to Tier 1, Hawk's Black Storm, it can even stop Black Wave. Sasha's power can even stall out Sturm's Meteor Strike 1. Sasha's power is definitely stopping Von Bolt's Ex Machina. Yeah, I think I picked Sasha because I was a bit afraid of those CO powers that could come up. So the Market Crash is another nice thing. Hold on a second. I did say I had Sasha for a different reason. But I guess another good reason is that Market Crash can stop a lot of the scary superpowers that we could potentially see. For 6 bars, I believe is War Bonds, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's on your screen anyways. Whenever you deal damage to an enemy, War Bonds either does full cost or half the cost of the enemy unit that you damage. Say you one-shot a tank, I don't know if you get 7,000 or 3,500. Yeah, it should be on your screen whether it says full or half. But I don't really see a lot of uses for War Bonds. On a practice game that I did have, I was Von Bolt, my opponent was Sasha. They didn't use Market Crash, they used War Bonds first, and then they used Market Crash because they knew that I wouldn't get my Ex Machina in time, and Sasha can just like sap the power away. And I actually didn't get Ex Machina for the longest time until I got like a really good attack with expensive units. But yeah, it's also like another reason why Sasha's like better in standard, because she can actually see all the damages and all the potential power meter that would come up. In Fog, it's really hard to calculate that. I don't think it could be possible, but it'd be really hard to calculate that. But in Fog, you really don't see the enemy unit, so you can't really plan around when you should save your Market Crash or when you should use it that turn. It gives a nice 10% offense and defense, so there's another caveat to it of when in your turn you've got to pop it, because you can like get yourself 10% offense and defense and like attack cheap units that are not going to generate as much power. And the power depletion depends on your income. If you buy units first, you will take away less power from your opponent. So please keep that in mind if you're playing as Sasha. I have had a moment like that before. Oh my god, this is so funny. Yeah, Sasha's stupid, bro. Sasha's so stupid. Oh no! 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 Yeah, I just played that clip again. Alright, so now, the elephant in the room. It's a tier 1 game. Why am I going up against Sami? Well, my opponent, unfortunately, didn't log in time. I guess their opponent resigned, and they didn't really know that the game was ended, and the game ended, and then they just didn't log in for too long. They didn't log in fast enough, and then they were left with the default, which is Sami. Like when I saw that I went to round 2, my default was Sami. I was like, oops, I gotta pick a tier 1 CO real quick. But Sami, foot soldiers gain plus 30% offense and have a 50% capture bonus, meaning that a full HP infantry will capture 15 points instead of 10. And I believe it does round down depending on the HP, but it makes it really easy to capture contested properties unless the unit dies. To interrupt a capture, I believe you need to bring it down to 3 HP. Yeah, bring Sami's foot soldier down to 3 HP. They will not be able to capture those 5 remaining points. Transports get +1 movement, and direct units lose 10% attack. However, her indirects are fine. And on this map specifically, 2 comm towers put her at 10%, which is better than 90% and 100%, obviously. For 3 bars, double time, correct me if I'm wrong, it's on your screen anyways, I sound like a broken record. Plus 50% offense to foot soldiers and +1 movement to foot soldiers as well. So it can really help out for infantry just like barely reaching to capture property or attack another infantry. And if they attack another infantry, they're going to do a lot of damage. Mechs also really enjoy the movement bonus, and since I already see them as glass cannons anyways, it's like much better if a mech heavily cripples a tank and takes very little damage in return. For the super, 8 bars is, I almost said war bonds, Victory March. For 8 bars is Victory March, plus 70% offense for foot soldiers, plus 2 movement to them, and they can immediately capture a property no matter the HP. So this is a potential game-ending move if you're in the right position to capture properties to reach the capture limit, or if you can capture the HQ. But in this matchup with Market Crash, I do not want that power to go off. I am scared of victory marches. It's not a win button though, because you can victory march and get a bunch of properties, but then your infantry are not covered, overextended, they die, and then they slowly recapture the properties, and you just kind of like wasted a power. You just get a few extra funds for the turn. So yeah, Sami, definitely a tricky CO. Regarding all the tier 1 COs, I think Sami's best matchup is probably against Sasha. Why Sasha? Well, if we're looking at comparison, she has better infantry, she has better transports, the indirects are the same, and it's just 10% behind when it comes to damages. Both will be positive anyway, it's just that Sami might have a harder time getting 2-hit KOs with 110%, and Sasha can get 120% if both players have a tower. Alright, I think I've talked enough. Before we get started with the game, one more thing that I'm going to do. I am going to show only my perspective so I can share with you guys what's been going through my mind when it came to this game. My opponent had a better elo than me, so I held them in high regard, and I tried to play as carefully as I could. And yeah, at the end I'll show you guys all the moves a bit quickly. So yeah, without further ado, let us begin. Oh my god, I talk for forever, I'm sorry. So so we can't see the production, we can't see the costs, but yeah, I don't see what's happening with my opponent. I'm just immediately going for my neutral base because that's what you do. I immediately capture the property and immediately capture both properties actually. And yeah, we're just gonna skip through that. So I capture the base, capture the city. There's a nice little 3 chain here. You could go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. It does split off when you get to the city, but I think I had something in mind. So I go for this city because I can capture it in 2 turns, and I build a day 3 recon. Like I said, I've seen a double recon opening on this map, and I am planning to go offensive on this side. But when I found out I was playing against the Sami, I was worried of a potential HQ cap. There's no black boat and it's fairly exposed, so I have to be very careful around my HQ, or else I could lose from an HQ cap if Sami gets enough units to protect and cover the HQ. Alright, so I still don't see what's going on. Looking at the pipes are still healthy. It is still very early in the game though. Yeah, so I got the recon. The recon could move on the city, but I am capturing it, so I am sacrificing 1 movement. But there's a lot of roads and properties that my recon can take advantage of. And instead of doing the chain, I actually decide to go here. I believe I plan to get this infantry to capture this city, and this infantry to go here and capture this city, and just take advantage of the little 2 chain here. So I begin to move out. I start going for the property, and I build an APC. The reason I wanted to be Sasha is because this opening was only possible if I had the extra 100 funds that Sasha gets. Unless there was another opening that I just didn't really plan out. But yeah, I wanted an APC because it is a fairly medium map, and I feel like the larger the map is, the better transports are. So I wanted to take advantage of the transports. So not much to see here. Going back to me, day 5. I capture the city and I get the recon there. I don't really expect to see anything yet, but maybe next turn I will. I go for the airport and I go for the city. Going around this way, I would not get that city. So yeah, like I said, I go ahead and have my 2 back infantry go for that, and I have this infantry go for the airport. And I do something a little bit cute. I boost my infantry up here. It doesn't really matter because like it could like go here and then like go capture one of these. But I just wanted to just like get a little like +1 movement just to be funny. And I build another recon. Like I said, the double recon opening looked really strong based on the replays that I saw. So I guess I can see where my opponent wants to go strong depending on where the tank is to where they invest their tank. I'm just gonna skip like that. Now it's back to my turn. Recon here, and I see an infantry same as me. Nothing is being rushed for the comm tower, which was nice, and I'm hoping that this infantry like goes to get one of these. It couldn't really capture anything immediately. It could go for this, but I am actually going to do a little boosting for that. So I move my infantry up. I have the recon. I think I'm going to send the recon like towards the middle. So instead of like going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and like 8, I guess. I just wanted like a little bit over here in the middle rather than like closer to the side. So I capture those properties. Oh, I didn't go for the chain. Huh. I guess I was really concerned about this comm tower. Wow, why did I not go for the chain? That's a little strange for me. I do another little cute boost. A little unnecessary, but you know, 1+ movement is really nice. But this, I am able to capture this property in 2 turns with this APC boost, and I can build another infantry to boost it the next turn. So I go for the airports, and I have enough funds to build tank, infantry, infantry. So I have double recon opening, APC opening, and the tank. Usually building a recon or an APC before a tank can disrupt your income for the next turn a little bit, but Sasha can negate a bit of that. And yeah, this opening was why I wanted to pick Sasha. I have double recon, APC, and I can build a tank on by day 6. And I was really satisfied with this turn, really comfortable. So I don't see anything. I saw the infantry move down. I see this infantry capturing here, another one moving up, and nothing else this turn. You can see the cursors of where the action is, but I don't. Like, I also like have the things hidden as well, the unit count, income, etc. So I get that nice little capture. I boost the APC. Where do I boost this? I don't boost the APC. I plan to boost the infantry. I don't see anything else here, so I was a bit terrified of the comm tower being captured, so I just like rushed for it. And I go for this hit, and I don't expect to be hit back by a tank. If I did, that would be unfortunate. My opponent probably can capture this, but I think I was thinking that if there was a tank here, it's obviously going to take like 2 turns to reach this, and then like say, actually no. I was thinking like if an infantry had to come off and then the tank hits me there, then I stop the capture, but this capture is not being stopped, but it drains a little bit of funds for the next turn at least. So, I went for the little boost right here. So it got double boosted actually, I think. Yeah, because I don't see why an infantry would be here. It'd probably be here, but yeah, I get a little double boost, and you can capture this city the next turn. Nice. And I have a tank chain, and I have artillery. I can't remember why I built this artillery. I think I just had the funds for it. But I've learned that if you build an artillery, if you tech up just for the sake of teching up, you could stop yourself from building a tank the next turn. Like say, example, you have 8k, you build artillery, infantry, then you don't have enough funds to go tank, infantry. So you've got to be careful when teching up in certain situations. Obviously, they're getting that, and they're coming down here. I see the APC, so that was expected from Sami, an APC. They get +1 movement, and yeah, this map also feels like transports are very strong. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on. See infantry. Pipe seam is actually broken. I was not accounting for that. The pipe seam is broken. Maybe that's why I built the artillery, because I saw they invested a unit to break the pipe seam. So I was like, yeah, I'll do the same. We both like suffer a little bit of the tempo, but it's the same tempo loss. So I felt like we're even if we were doing that. So the artillery is in position to damage both of these. I think I go for this one first. So I go for this city instead of this city. I think this one I felt was more contested. Go up here, see this infantry capturing, and I see one all the way here. That one probably did a little bit of skipping, or maybe not. So yeah, I decided to move down here and attack, and I see the transport. So they went double transport opening. So they're really taking advantage of Sami's bonuses here. And I have a continued tank chain, and I built a recon. I was kind of expecting to lose this recon anyway, so that's why I decided to build a prophylactic recon in case this recon was killed. So they go capturing the property in the corner. I see the mech down here right now, but I think during the replay I actually did not see this mech, and it's gonna cost me. So nothing else I see here. Day 9. I think I'm like making the bottom my strong side because I could break this pipe seam, and I want to protect my HQ from a Sami. Wonder if that was like paranoia or not. So I try to go for a chain, and I'm like, yeah, this infantry can like go for this one, and I move back a little bit, and I see the infantry being capturing the property up there. And yeah, this recon is going to die because of this mech that I didn't see at the time, but now that I see, so I probably wouldn't have gone for this attack if I saw the mech there. So yeah, I decided to plot myself on the city to prevent my opponent from capturing. And if anything damages that, I have tank backup, and I'm very likely to stay on this city if nothing to hit KOs this tank. Unless there's like maybe chip damage or something. Another nice little boost. Infantry moving out. Copter, anti-air, infantry. It's day 9. I felt like I I was being a bit slow with my anti-air, so that's why I built it. Also, a copter is like a nice little double threat. I haven't damaged anything yet. Oh no, I damaged the pipe seam here. As you can see, it's 55 on the bottom right. So my opponent captures that top city. They go on the mountain, get some vision. Mech on the city, one-shots my recon, lose all my vision. Infantry comes out from the top and stops me from capturing that. And nothing else that I see except that infantry moving up. And yeah, a lot of movement from my opponent. I don't see what's going on, obviously. So I capture that. Recon comes in and deals 5 damage to the infantry. Take advantage of this capture chain. And I move up here because this infantry is gonna be a nuisance. It's 5 HP, but it's gonna be annoying still to deal with. So I move my recon on the city, just get vision, and I get a little greedy. I try to go for like a 3rd comm tower, but my opponent has an artillery, and I should have expected this artillery because this was probably the artillery that attacked this pipe seam. So yeah, I could go for it, but I think I was expecting infantry on the city, probably capturing, but also like protects the artillery. I have a recon all the way down here. I don't have information to go up there. I build another copter and I build another artillery. I think when I saw that my opponent was building mechs, artillery are good against mechs because if they don't have a movement bonus, then mechs cannot stay outside of artillery range and then move in to damage the artillery. So I was expecting mechs from my opponent, and oh wow, this pipe seam was broken actually, not this one. I wonder why. Maybe I was like planning to get this soon. I think I wanted control of the middle. That might have been my thing. So yeah, bye-bye infantry. My opponent's slowly moving up at the bottom. Transport copters another mech. And here we see the first tank from my opponent. So yeah, look, this is looking like both of our strong sides are going to be on this bottom side here. Day 11, my opponent's... No, for me, not my opponent. I go for this attack, and I attack from the plane because I wanted to go for a cap on my opponent's city, as well as the comm tower. It's a 1 HP infantry. The only thing it's good for is scouting because there are 2 mountains in the corner. It cannot interrupt either of these captures, I'm pretty sure. And I think I saw that there was nothing that could interrupt this capture. And from here, of course. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a 2k advantage because I took my opponent's city. So the tank's moving down. This replay is not really consistent with the pipe seams. I think I'm sending this one to attack that. I get more boosting just to prepare a possible push towards my HQ. And I'm just like balling up, making sure all my units are on defensive properties, defensive terrain. Yeah, my opponent's getting that comm tower. I build another recon. Why did I build another recon? I think for the middle? Yeah, tank, copter, recon infantry. I don't see my opponent get that. My opponent has the comm tower now. I think we're like about to be even on comm towers. My opponent just gets more vision, but there's nothing really else to see. But yeah, I think they are gonna see my recon leave. So they scout out the forest and first strike me from the city. Even, but it's Sami, so Sami has stronger infantry than me. Tank moves up slowly, APC moves down, infantry, and yeah, nothing else that I see. Day 12, finally capture the comm tower, and I capture my opponent's property. Pipes are... This one is damaged, 33 HP. I meant to move this recon on the city. I was so mad at myself. I'm like, oh, now he's gonna capture this property, and I'm gonna have to like move my units on the weak side. But yeah, it would suck if like a tank comes in and attack this. I'm just like, oh, this is really bad. My weak side is starting to crumble a little bit. So I go and protect my comm tower. I get a boost on the mountain. I could have like moved the APC here and then boost it, but I guess like it's still a boost if you like get it on a heavy terrain. Yeah, it's like it's on the mountain, so yeah, it's still like getting a boost. And I try to protect the city at the bottom. I think I'm gonna lose units for that though. Did I break? Yeah, I broke the pipe seam, so my copter's moving in. Recon is moving in the middle. Oh wow, I do remember what I was planning to do. Tank moves up, starting to slowly consolidate on the bottom. Neo tank. I don't know if I would be able to get this as a non-Sasha CO, but yeah, I guess as Sasha you want to take advantage of your tech ups, and that's exactly what I did. Mechs cannot damage Neo tanks, thankfully. I did see artillery, so that was a bit scary, but yeah, mechs cannot touch the Neo tank. Mechs can do a lot of harm to these other units though, except for the copters. They get more value hitting the vehicles. So I lose that infantry. Infantry with all their powers, freeing up that city, and boom, tank on the city, protected by 2 mechs. I do not think I want to attack into that. Another tank in the forest. APC, 3 mechs are protecting that tank. And the APC is also protecting this tank in the forest. So yeah, I am actually 4 mechs. I am actually feeling it, really. I was terrified that I was like, oh crap, why is the game state getting to this point? And that's when I was starting to think about, well, Sasha has stronger infantry and mechs than I do, so, and better transport, so I can kind of see where this is starting to make sense. So I kill the scouting infantry, and I kill the 7 HP infantry here. Left it on the road though, not really the best terrain for it, but I do get a lot of information that they built a wall, infantry wall on their HQ. I guess they were, yeah, 5 infantry. I guess they were scared of a potential HQ cap. It's the same way I'm scared of an HQ cap. Excuse me. I back up just a little bit. I boost my infantry. I move my copter up. I feel like I maybe could have put my artillery here, so like anything that's like standing on the tile will get hit. But I wanted to protect this tank, and yeah, I'm just moving out of range. Got a lot of units covering each other. Another artillery just to like zone out my opponent's mechs, and I'm like already building a death ball here. Infantry moves up, scouts my 2 HP infantry. They are proceeding to capture. The recon comes in. Infantry moves up, kills my 2 HP infantry. Recon comes out of the forest, attacks my infantry. Tank one-shots my recon. Tank also hits my comm tower. Comm tower infantry. And capturing my comm tower. And I'm pretty sure there's a unit here. Probably just saw it, but I like forgot. And it's only exposed to one side. Any normal CO, I can interrupt this comm tower. But this is Sami, I can hit it, but I'm not going to interrupt that comm tower. My opponent is going to get a comm tower advantage over me. They are going to be 120 to my 110% when it comes to like tanks. They can now 2-shot my units on cities, and I cannot 2-shot their units on cities. So I was getting a little bit worried, and I'm like, seriously, like, why is this game getting to this point? I am several tiers ahead of my opponents based on the chart on Advanced Wars by Web. I'm several tiers above my opponent CO wise. Why is the game state getting to this point? I felt like I was kind of losing at this point, like losing in properties. Like they're going to get this city and they're going to get this tower, and they're like kind of going off on my weak side here. But then I remembered something. It was a collab I had a while ago, and it will be on the channel later, I promise that. And during this collab, I learned something. This collab has taught me that if there is something that your opponent can do on your side of the map, then it's probable that you can do the exact same thing on your opponent's side of their map. So that was one reason. Another reason, I saw 2 tanks up here. I was like, okay, there are 2 tanks less on this side. I could probably go for this move. So as you see, I kind of stopped myself and I attack the infantry with my recon. I get a little bit of vision. I see their recon, their artillery, their copter. A lot of great intel. Infantry kills the comm tower infantry. I stand on the comm tower and go for the more healthier infantry. And I do kind of wall up just a bit. Yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. They went for my comm tower. I'm going to go for their comm tower. And I saw there are 2 tanks up here and a recon, so I am more comfortable doing this. Unfortunately, this artillery is not protecting this infantry, but there's like everything else to protect that infantry if I move it. So I go a little bit on the offensive on the bottom here, damaging the infantry that could potentially threaten my properties with their insane capture bonus. I move my recon back, and yeah, I was right. There's a unit up here. I cannot interrupt this capture, and I go for the market crash before I buy anything. I don't want any double times just coming out of nowhere, hitting me with 3 movement max. So I build double copter, tank, infantry, infantry. I think I went for copter because I didn't really see anti-air, and these copters are also really nice against mechs and artillery, which Sami, she excels with the mechs and isn't hindered by indirects. So my opponent now has the advantage in firepower, which is a bit terrifying. Mech comes down, one-shots my 7 HP infantry. That was 7 HP, yeah. Recon moves in, reveals what's in the forest. I believe this tank scouted this city, and yeah, just boom, hits that. It's gonna capture that. Kills my infantry on the city, attacks my infantry in the forest, puts a tank on the city. Now there are 3 tanks up here. So that's oh wow, and the mech. Wow, my opponent is really solid. I feel like my opponent is really solid with positioning. It's just that I feel like there's just like a lot of resources committed to this top, which made me feel a bit more comfortable going for the bottom. So yeah, they're threatening this property, and this recon most likely isn't going to get away with its life. So my opponent goes for those hits, but doesn't occupy the tower. Anti-air moves back, artillery moves into the forest, but I can see that. ABC moves back, probably to boost more units. I see units moving down to the bottom. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna move down here, I'll move up here. In this corner, in this corner right here, you move down, I move up. So let's see what I do next. Neo tank one-shots the infantry, 8 HP infantry on the 3-star missile silo. Infantry in the corner to attack this. I move planned this, by the way. There's going to be protection for this infantry, but I'm also going to reveal the artillery in the forest. So kind of wall up a little bit. A little bit scary about this Neo tank next to the city on a plane, but I should have an artillery here. So yeah, I got the artillery to reveal the artillery in the forest. And I go for the tank hit, get a little bit of information, see the copter, another tank hit, and I don't think I'm gonna get this, but I'm like forcing my opponent to respond to this capture. Here we go, artillery to protect the Neo tank if there was any heavy tank to attack my Neo tank, and the recon in the forest. They can reveal the recon, but they cannot kill the recon unless they kill either of these tanks and one-shot it, because yeah, they had to occupy one of the tiles to reveal it, and then there's just one less tile for them to attack with. So yeah, I start to ball up, And like I said, copters attacking the mechs, I am completely comfortable with that. And I have a copter chain, so if there is a copter that's going to attack it, that's fine. I also have tanks to attack the anti-air that would hit this battlecopter. And this artillery here, I wanted this here, so if they like wanted to go for any cheese, HQ cheese, and I have something to stop it temporarily. So yeah, I'm like starting to ball up again. And yeah, I moved a little bit to the top when I saw all my opponent's units move to the bottom. I moved back a little bit. Yeah, I felt like I'm losing this side, but I'm hopefully going to like be like a tidal wave, like move up and then like crash down. Although there's a little bit of my opponent can like attack me from the top and bottom, kind of like a pincer. But my goal was this comm tower, and then probably the rest of these properties down here. So yeah, I continue to ball up, retreat on the top, and I build a medium tank. The medium tank isn't protecting these, but there are 3 tanks on that front. And so I'm like, yeah, what are your 3 tanks going to do to my medium tank? It is also like cheaper, like 16,000 to 7 tanks, which is 23,000? 714? No, 21,000. So yeah, it is cheaper and it can deal with all those medium tanks. Yeah, I use medium tanks more defensively than offensively, and this was my weak side, so I was okay with building a medium tank there. And on day 16, the game is over. According to the replay, the match ended in a draw. What really happened, my opponent timed out. Yeah, day 16, when I felt like the game was getting a little bit more interesting, my opponent times out, which is unfortunate, but apparently it has happened in tournaments before. So real quickly, I generated more funds because obviously I am Sasha. When it comes to deaths, I had less kills than deaths, but no, my kills were not more valuable than the deaths. So unfortunately a little bit anticlimactic. Like, I was honestly a little unsure if I wanted to even record this game, but I do want to share this game to hopefully get some feedback on how I could have played. So, oh, there's a chart I could have looked at. So yeah, it looks like we were kind of back and forth even, and then I just scaled a little bit higher with the funds. It definitely could have changed. With this, I would get, it would be 24 to 24,200, I believe. And I think that means I'm behind because at 20,000, I get an extra 2K. So right now the income is even. I think it's even. And then, yeah, my opponent would just take advantage of that. So looking at this game state here, I'm pretty sure I probably would have gotten the tower. I think I would have gotten the tower. I'm definitely not getting the city, but I'm hoping that like my, all my units like kind of in a wave like this is just gonna overcome this little force here. Like move away from the base and just attack. Move away from the base and just attack towards the bottom, hopefully to get maybe this city, and the comm tower, which is probably what my opponent was going to get. Like, they were going to get this city, and they were going to get this city, even this city maybe. But yeah, let's just go back and go ahead and skim through it. So, yeah, my opponent goes for normal captures. Looks like first thing they build are artillery, and they build a mech and transport. And they built an APC. It looks like they boosted unit up there. 40% on the comm tower. I think the mech went for the hit too. And then the mech gets moved down here. Whew. If I stuck around, yeah, this recon would have died. And yeah, this recon could not see the mech that was in the forest. And my opponent's first direct offensive vehicle was actually a copter, which is interesting. Yeah, I then lose the mech, and they're like kind of deathballing it near the comm tower. They have a third transport for the top. I did not see that third transport, but yeah, they started with copters, which is very interesting. They also have the anti-air as well. Yeah, they just started boosting as normal, overwhelming the bottom side with mechs. Looks like they built a... The anti-air hit the pipe seam. That's why there was a little glitch there. So yeah, it looks like they went strong on the bottom, but by the looks of it, they were kind of spent some resources on the top here, where I committed most of my resources at the bottom. I think the most expensive thing I sent to the top was this recon, and then the rest was just infantry, just trying to capture the corners. And yeah, just moving in. I saw recon tank up here, less resources on the bottom side, and like I said, they went for my comm tower, so I decided to go for their comm tower. And yeah, they don't have other than like 1-2 artillery, nothing to deal a lot of damage to my neo tank, except maybe the copters, and like the mechs are probably gonna like chip down the neo tank, but that's already like a lot of resources for that one neo tank, and I have a bunch of other units I can use if they had gone for the neo tank kill. So yeah, looks like I'm doing higher on army value and the income, or I think like right now it's like kind of even. But right now I kind of got like less on unit counts, which is concerning because I'm like losing all my units on the top here. And I think for the longest time I barely killed anything from my opponent in the early game. But yeah, I just like go ahead, went in, killed some units, and balled around trying to get the comm tower, retreated on my weak side, had the upcoming medium tank. I was behind on unit counts, but then my opponent timed out. But like I said, it's not the end of the world. Other players have had people time out the tournaments before. With there's so many people, a lot of things could happen. But yeah, I hope I made this video interesting enough for you guys. I have advanced to round 3 of the Smacky Cup. I think I said my goal was to get at least like 1 win. So moving on to round 3 ended anticlimactically, but I still am glad that I got the chance to go to round 3. And like I said, another reason I recorded this game was because I want to know what you guys think. I want to improve on Advanced Wars by Web. In order to improve, I have to learn. So if there was, what could I have done better, or what did I do right on this map to respond to my opponent's playstyle, and how did I respond to it? Did I do like okay? Did I do good? Was there like even a better move that you could have found? If you want the zip file for this replay, go ahead and just like maybe leave it in the comments, or find me on the Advanced Wars by Web Discord server and maybe like ask me for the replay, and I'll do just that as well. Yeah, like I said, I was very unsure if I wanted to upload this or not, but I was hoping that the way I recorded this video, I made it work for you guys. Yeah, looking at this game state, I really think this game still could have gone either way. I really did. Alright, guys and gals, thank you all so much for watching. I am continuing the weekly streak of Advanced Wars by Web Tiny Wars content. I have a lot of videos that I want to get through, so I should be good for a very long time. I am in a bit of a scramble to record this one because I was on vacation over the weekend, so I am like trying my best to make sure I get this video out. And one video a week has been very easy for me so far, and I'm still glad that I'm getting the support. Like I'm seeing growth from this kind of progress, and I want to thank you all so much for that. And yeah, I am going to continue doing weekly content, going back and forth with Advanced Wars by Web and Tiny Wars. Guys and gals, I am Advanced Warrior. You all Have my warmest regards. Please take care. Oh, and thank you for watching.